Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Croatia, here on the Lord Master channel. This is a still ongoing Europa Universalis 4 series, and as you people well know, that the series of the Delhi Mughal Empire has recently concluded. I've concluded the recordings of it about a week prior, but now, back here in EU Forums, I'm not quite done with this game yet for this year of 2021, as there's still about at least a couple of more episodes of Croatia to finish with. But as we know that the Mughal Empire series was a huge success, especially for someone who has played. I've played EU4 for a couple of years now, but done a video series of its entirety, yes, that was very successful. And score-wise, the Mughal reached first place. But for Croatia, it's under third place for the rank of total score, as you can see up there. Administrative rank second, diplomatic rank second, military rank fifth. Only because we are cautious. We're a cautious kind of nation rather than how the Mughal Empire operated, with being it's like, oh, let's conquer as much land as humanly possible, and even took on a world war on a scale that the world has never seen before. But here in the Croatian series, we operate differently. That's the reason why I've said to you viewers before that both the Croatian and the Mughal Empire series are distinctive in their own way. They basically have their own identities. And the only difference is Mughal Empire's absolute monarchy and remained a monarchy, while Croatia is a parliamentary republic, a great princedom of an imperial level to be exact, as we have noble elite, republicanism, frequent elections, union of states, parliamentarianism, broad and executive powers, moral principle, and citizenry. And in a cultural unit, due to being a great princedom, all cultures in the South Slavic group are accepted. So besides us Croats, it's Serbian, Bulgarian, Bosnian, Dalmatian is separate, Albanian, and Slovene. They're all accepted, part of South Slavic culture group, basically Yugoslavia, with Dalmatian, Venetian, and Greek as accepted cultures. Although I could promote more cultures, like say Turkish, just to get more income out of Zagrad. I almost said Constantinople, I was just trying to remember the Slavic name. And of course very little of everybody else because of our colonial expansions. And it's going to be a very long time before we get to the next reform tier, which you may want to keep that Republican tradition high, because it's the only way to have that reform progress go a little faster. Not to mention the average local autonomy, as we are the lower the local autonomy, the faster you'll gain the reform points. Well, here's one problem. I am not in a mood to create, states. I have more territories than states now because we're using that to get more money out of the trade company, as we are a mercantile intensive nation. But if we ever happen to get up to office selection, if we ever reach that time, it would be either this or this. This is unnecessary because I'm not in the mood to have more accepted cultures. We can hold more. It's just my issue is, well, we're just more colonial intensive these days. We're not here to adopt other peoples into accepted cultures unless it's territorially important to us. Like say it could be Crimean or Turkish would be most sensible. But during the last episode, as we will zoom here, the last episode, which saw the conflict over the East Indies, when we were grabbing specific areas that would be of value to us and the Croatian Trade Company of the Moluccas. Does the Spanish have one? Well, then we want to dominate the trade here as well. I mean, we have, but cornering them entirely is going to take a while. It's going to take years, in fact. Which, of course, could add a little bit of tension around here. But I don't think it's going to have that much of an effect, just to be honest. That overextension is just going to go down and it's going to cause less penalty. And one day, when that time comes, if I'm not expanding anymore, then it's highly likely that I will pass the Abolition of Slavery Act whenever we elect our next ruler who's a diplomat candidate. So that way we can have technology costs reduced. But of course that hurts the national tax modifier a bit. But look at the taxation. It's low. It's not our best source of income. Production could barely keep up. It's just we're heavily reliant on trade. And that is the reason why, ladies and gentlemen, why the Croatia is a colonial empire in addition to be a global trade empire, similar vein to the British Empire. That's because we would never survive in the Balkans with that kind of development, so I never had the time to go develop my own country except pillage those from them. Which is the reason why I have not developed areas like Bosnia, Dalmatia, Russia, Serbia, Bulgaria barely. But the places that I do develop happen to be areas that has centers of trade. And including the more developed areas like Skopje was due to because of Bulgaria as a subject state of Croatia at that time. That's why. And also we have to take out areas that's more developed, like say Millet, also known as Venezia. Or even go to the other areas like Tunis. And that's before we just decide to go global, and then America eventually. And speaking of America here, we can declare war against the Iroquois right here, right now. No, Fox Nation will be the only one to join. And since they are undermanned, knowing that New Croatia and Croatian Canada can take care of this situation, and I don't need to send troops over there right now because two things. One, our best troops are still in the East Indies as we're going to settle things and eventually plan on, sending them back to Europe in case of whatever the Commonwealth may be up to. A possible world war with the Timurids. And oh, that's another thing that's going to be the difference between Croatia and Mughal Empire. Croatia does not seek starting a world war with anyone. Not Spain, not Vijayanagar, not Timurids, especially the Timurids. In which I call them, Croatia's boogeyman, because not because they're more numerous than us, but that's because of their ideas and their traditions. They're way better than the Croatian ones in terms of combat, even though Navy and cavalry and infantry, yes, they can fight. It's just they're not known for their armor morale and their discipline. Hence the reason why we took defensive, quality, and currently working on offensive ideas. And debating what, well, since we plan on abolishing slavery in the future, reduction of technology costs would be a good idea, so we could get these things a little faster. And I also just noticed the grow cloves in Scandinavia. We have found that cloves, a valuable trade good currently only found in the spice islands, can be grown on the island of Zanzibar off the coast of Africa. Here's one problem. We don't have Zanzibar. I would love to own Zanzibar, which is over here. But there's one problem. It's guaranteed by France. So if I need to attack somebody, well then, go attack someone that has their independence guaranteed by someone else. Like that little nation. Fight a war against Kill to try to get them into... Why are they guaranteeing you? Well, I'm sure they'll break up one day. Let me look at it real quick. Timurids. How friendly are these two? Enough to create an alliance from one Muslim to another. If they do ally, despite the distance, I'd be scared as heck. That means, well, they're untouchable at this point. If only we could take Zanzibar for the company. Okay, let's get down to business here. So, separatist rebellions around here will be unlikely. So as many of you are resting up while we core the areas and already made them into part of the company. And we've sent a merchant to go to Canton, which I believe it was to transfer trade power. Yes, thank you. So he could transfer it to Malacca, which is I believe that's still the third most valuable trade node in the world. Even though we do not have the most power here right now, but although you just wait until Croatia, overtakes it and more. Especially when we increase the local goods produced, which of course, goods produced increase the trade value of the province, meaning we make more money, as well as those who have merchants present there. Highly doubt we'll reach up to the level of Lubeck, but certainly not the English Channel. And as we stated before, we are a mercantilist intensive nation, because that's how we provide the money. But of course there's a drawback on that, and that is the liberty desire from them, due to tariffs, mainly. And also their high development and their dreams of liberty, as well as revolutionary ideas in their area. In fact, now that I thought about that, revolutionary ideas. Well, it's at a minimum in those areas, but again, the birthplace of revolution was Lublin, Poland, Commonwealth. Now it's spreading into areas inside of Florida, the Spanish colony. So that could spell trouble for Florida if they become revolutionary and wish to be free from the Spanish, which of course the Spanish would try their damnedest to crush them. Morocco wants to be free from Spain, that's their vassals, but along with that, colonies, well, so the Spanish have a tight grip onto that. And of course I forgot to mention, and that's because that's largely been overlooked. Yes, we're at war. Genoa started this war against Milan, Revolutionary Frankfurt, and Revolutionary Munich. Yes, revolution is common in Europe, at least in the Holy Roman Empire areas of Europe. And there is revolutions encroaching in Croatia, but it's not messing with the autonomy around here. No, we won't give in to that. Never. So now, we gotta do is wait 1 month and then declare war against the Iroquois Confederacy along with the Fox Nation, and let our Colonial boys to deal with them. Matter of fact, do whatever you want. And as for the guys over at the East Indies, they will be on standby for about a few months before we will send some of them back home. back home to Croatia, knowing that Genoa can handle it. Our advisor just died. Okay. Again, we have a master of mint who can reduce the yearly inflation, because we're trying to bring it down a bit. As we have a national bank, usury forgiven. Another request from him. Speaking of requests, I mean, I could increase the mercantilism right now, but I would say no, because I would rather save it for better delicacy. I know the stability is at the max, but that's just in case if something happens like that, so I'm saving this up. In about a few years, I'll be sure to improve relations with the Papal State, just to keep it up. I was about to say, you boys thinking about going soon? No. You guys are going to war. This will be an imperialist war. This will be your thing. Whatever territories you captured, it'll be given to you, not to me, directly. Otherwise, there's bound to be problems. Unless we want both of them to be tributaries. As we've made the Cree a tributary. So, you'll duke him out. Again, Cree gives us manpower, which is something that Croatia is a bit lacking these days. Well, we may switch it over to ducats again. But at least we have a nice few bonuses due to having this amount of crown land. So don't worry about the situation over there. Caramanese revolutionaries. That is a large one. Is revolution present? Oh yeah, it's spreading like wildfire over there, even at Colonial. Georgian separatists. But we still hope and beg that the day will never come. The day when the Timurids, Jernagar, Spain all join together in some great conspiracy against Croatia. I'll check back the war in America in a moment. It'll do. Every little bit helps. But it's only the Moluccas now is where we make the most money of the trade, because we have 47% control of the trade power, but until the overextension goes away and further reduced, we make a little more. And when we core these areas, we'll improve it a bit more further. I'll get a new advisor soon. Since we started to focus on more defensive philosophies, a humble engineer, position usually at the bottom of the rung in the military, has a chance to impress the mark of the true genius. I think that'll be ideal. Let improve the defenses of his home province, Zagreb, our capital. Hey, go deal with them. Meanwhile, yes, they are engaging. They're engaging them just like I would. Until you fully conquer these, who fully occupy these two, then we'll have negotiations with them. They did all the work, not me. No need to send our boys over. No reason for them to die over there. While we're just, well, collect your trade. Ferrara requests privileges. Slow down. The burghers of Ferrara An increasingly important trading city. I've approached the Great Prince today to be asking to be granted privileges to be able to make the region thrive without the hindrance of many of our normal taxes. Should we provide him with these means to grow, they assure that the economy there would quickly improve. 2% of the line. Man, the other ones have been helping us a lot. They played a role of Croatia's development over the years. I'll give it to them. So yes, I'll lose that effect. But you will gain more crownland as long as they don't get too influential to some. And thanks to them, the development cost is reduced, so if you want to play tall in a certain area, you may. Oh look, more enemies. They got a 3-star general. Get to Istria. Is that your 4-4? No, that's your first. You're also against Davian and Indrapota. Minimum casualties. Again, they got a very good general. But even then, you can invest in a new idea. Till 1797. Just this once, okay? Because whenever we get newer generals, at least we'll have ones that has good fire. You know, that was our supporting army, you know? And we're about to destroy them here. That'll keep them back. What can we do? Other than improved existing buildings. And too bad we can't upgrade these centers of trade. I really want to. But we're currently at 2 wars right now. But when it's peacetime, oh boy, it's time to make some money. None of you guys are accepted cultures. You're going to be a hindrance. It'll cost you a little bit of money. I don't want to see any of you. Get out. All of you. Out. I need someone that is of an accepted culture. Give me a Croat. Give me a Serb. Give me a Dalmatian. Give me a Greek. Anybody. I do not typically do that. Telling advisors to get out of here and give me new ones. Which you gotta wait a few months or so. Because they'll come in. I do not typically do that. But I had to. Because if you don't have an advisor with an accepted culture, you can't promote him. Alright, what do we got? God blast it! Hang on. Tunisian, Javanese, Marathi. Well, actually, we do need someone disciplined. Because we're not only at war, but discipline is key to victory. When you look back on experience. But of course, he costs more. But need more military power if you want to get it up there. And you know, there is no way we can make a Marathi and accept the culture because that development is zero. Only because we made this area, you know, company. And it's also not a Catholic province and many more reasons for that. Because it's not a state. It's a territory. It's part of the company. At least you're all doing the work. Got blasted. Everybody's getting old. Yeah, I know. I forget which one's election day. I believe it's April. And I'd like to have a trader advisor, but let's have a diplomat for once. And promote him. But hold it on that last part. We'll improve relations with the papacy a little later. Because that increased percentage means there'll be more improved and therefore more people influenced to get what we want. Or what I want. Liège has gone revolutionary. Until France stops guaranteeing their independence, we'll go in and take them out. And grab Zanzibar, that's the ultimate goal. Zanzibar and all the other centers of trade, not the entire coast. Until they carpet siege the whole area, take as much land as humanly possible from them. And give it to New Croatia and Canada. Croatia and Canada. New trade research is heretical. Blasted. Need that diplomatic power. Just ignore them. We'll get our prestige up one of these days. One of our good guys. Another reason why I say with the military power, we need more generals. Should get rid of that Preparation Act. That monthly war exhaustion thing, land attrition reduction. We're not doing expedition anymore, so get rid of that. Oh, it's election time. Although I did say I want to have a diplomat candidate so we can abolish slavery when the overextension goes away. We're not expanding anytime soon, except for the colonies over there in America. Plus, when you get rid of the slaves as a trade good, it'll be replaced with another trade good entirely. So, and next time, elect a military ruler. Oh, I see. So, what's our guy like? Silver tongue, improving relations. Excellent. Alright, let's begin improving populations, even though it isn't going to be much. But it'll do. And we're calling back when it's all finished. Yeah, that'll definitely do. And maybe send them a little money just to get us to like us even more. And we'll be getting more yearly people influence. Very, very well. You don't even have a fortification. What the heck? All the Fox will be occupied soon. If they're willing. Because now they're just running around. Oh my god. This is what I feared. A Farsi reconquest. It's a defensive war. Audubon, the Timurids are involved as well. My god, if I get involved in something like this, you know this is going to be defensible. And no one can save me. And that would also endanger our holdings in Croatia and India. Oh, I hate to do this. But I'm going to have to decline and make me look bad in the eyes of the world. Because that diplomatic reputation of mine. Okay. Oh, for 5 years. Now I gotta appease him. I was hoping that day would never come. Decrease the tariffs a bit. I don't know how much of territory Mao is going to lose to it, but we know the Timurids are going to be coming in, but I don't think there's going to be... If they were to conquer Central along with Delhi and all that, the Timurids would have the ability to create the Mughal Empire. But they would have to get Multan as well. I'm avoiding that world war potential. Because I don't want to fight against the Timurids without the backing of the Commonwealth and the Mamluks. Yes, I understand. I'm sorry we broke up the friendship. Papal again. Yes, that would override it. Back to normal. There. City demands seat in Sebo. The city of Verona has grown rich and prosperous. They now want a seat in Parliament. The argument of the representatives seemed to center around the statement about no taxation without representation. You got it. Feel sorry for ditching Mawa. But at least it gives me more diplomatic power. Hostility to new production techniques. Is it fully occupied yet? 99% it says. I don't know if you'll get everything, but let's get Fox out of there. 1 second. Those that are under control of Croatia itself will be switched to Croatian. Well, actually, it depends on what region is that. Casino, northeast. This is some bay. Let me read this piece of news first, okay? The changes in production methods that technological progress has brought have not been welcomed by everyone. Some feel that their livelihood is threatened by the growing mechanization and are causing trouble through protests and sabotage. In Ferrara, things have been escalated to a full-blown uprising among the artisans. Oh, good lord. For 10 years, or they'll be devastated, and then we're gonna have to go beat up these peasants. You know, we're in a state of war here. Fortunately, there is a fort present, so whatever devastation that may occur there, then that'll probably be rectified. That's for more trade power reasons. Anyways. Luddites! They're not gonna do much, so... Gather 2 armies over. Head to Badora, you two. We're gonna go deal with these peasants. Anyways, Fox Nation. Yes to all. And what little money is going to be left to them, since they're not going to exist anymore. It'll just now be part of whomever wants it. To be quite honest, Croatia and Canada should have it all, rather than New Croatia. I mean, it's close to them, it's bordered with them. Oh, excuse me. One second. I'll have this sorted out. Just say all goes Croatia, but remember, it's going to be automated to Croatia, Canada. Keep that well in mind. There. It actually lowers it. And that's all it can provide. Okay. Fox Nation is out of the war. Don't spend it. See, now it went to Croatian Canada anyhow, except for these two. Oh boy. You sure not Canada? This is part of Canada, this is not. This is different. Okay, let me see. 1, 2. Come. So, Ohio. And with the Spanish in the way, then no. You can't sell a province to your own colony, can you? I don't think you can, because that's silly talk. No, not to your subjects. Well then, you're probably gonna have to release it as a subject. Or just give it to Canada like you're supposed to during the peace negotiations. Well, fine then. But it'll only be temporary. It's part of Great Lakes, so that means it's gotta be a separate colony then. With the whole eastern seaboard. We struck gold! And tropical wood. More gold means more inflation. Well done, you dummies. Okay, let's go deal with these peasants right now. Munich is out. Back to your post. Let them occupy the rest, and then let God sort them out. You promised you weren't going to expand anymore. But don't worry about it. Too many liberties. Few of our members of our parliament are of the opinion that Stepan Vracincic has been taking a few too many liberties lately when it comes to governing our nation. Some are even claiming that Stepan seems to lack any respect whatsoever for both the Constitution and the rest of Parliament. Take appropriate measures. I'll take that hit. That's on them. They're about to defeat this army and then occupy this last bit of territory, then it's curtains for them. As I am not in the mood of fighting Timurids. We don't have the manpower to take them all on. It would have been a devastating world war. Fars had a bit. Oh, that's another thing. Akunul is my other ally. Now we know we're the friends of Akunul. We're all in this together, but I couldn't be there for you. You have the manpower, so do you, but Timurids are really killers. It's just I'm scared to death of them. They have not joined. And this would have been high time to get us kicked out of India like this. But of course they would have to be fighting against, you know, a lot of us. Our ultimate alliance. Especially the Commonwealth. We still stick together. Now anyways. All the Iroquois territories occupied. But see if you can get as much land as possible from them. As long as it connects. Which it will. Okay. Some of that's going to New Croatia, some of that's going to Canada. About as much as we can get it out of it. And that's it for them. One sec. See the border changes. Some of that to Canada. And a couple of New Croatia which kind of separated from them, but hey, it's all part of it. And look, they're alone. But unfortunately, you can only get these two territories, and that'll be it for that kind of expansion, because it's going to be all Spanish from there. Yeah, practically. At least I don't have to core any more of it. I don't think we'll be having much problems regarding separatism, so I think it's time to go home. We gotta sail back to Croatia. Whatever casualties you may take, it'll be considered acceptable. I'm just gonna drop you off here. Don't worry, we have the manpower to reinforce them back to the way it was, and then we'll be back up at that level in no time. Come here. I'm gonna take it back home. Just for you to actually make a short stop at Goa. They've been dealt with. We struck gold. Yes, sir. That's one. My goodness, they brought more. Most likely mercenaries. Is there any revolutionary parents in Timber territory? No. Hi. Milan has fallen, and therefore it is over. It's all over. Now, for God's sakes, let there be peace in our time. Okay, you got a lot of territory, and you got a lot of nerve as well. In 4 years, you're going to start looking at us more positively. I'll reduce your tariffs again. Just to make you feel happy. So tariff efficiency is really lowered, but maybe I'd increase the tariffs of Croatian Canada. Now, the one thing I did not look up with this newly captured territory is how much of the trade goods. It's mostly fur, obviously. A little bit of tobacco. Yes, fur, tobacco. Especially now that I have this area, but honestly it should be given a Croatian Canada. I have 3 territories now. Including one area that's part of Lake Superior. Which that one has copper. What else? Centers of trade, right, I just remembered. It's only 45% now. Because of that overextension, lowered it. Let's increase that. That's 1. Sure to build a trade station here, and a lot of buildings to build here when it's all said and done. just arrived. Alright. Basically, pick a fight with any of those African nations if you want coastal centers of trade, especially Zanzibar. Don't want to go to war with them directly because the French is guaranteeing them. That, along with Brunei. And of course, one day we'll expand into Central Africa. So that'll probably happen either in the 90s or in the early 1800s. But the thing I desire the most is this one. Part of the Ivory Coast trade node here. Which is rather surprising of how they've got away with it. But it's been guaranteed by Spain. So no one's going to disturb them. But in order to fight them, you gotta go to war against Kazembe. Or start a big old African war. Where we can use all of our armies, use all of our strength. You know, where we can just pick them up one by one. But as for territorial gains, Congo would be most likely. And other certain areas that has centers of trade. But the trade value in Congo isn't that great. Less so in the Great Lakes. Not to be confused with, well, obviously, damn it, just short of this area that's currently held by Spain. I think the reason why that's a market town, center of trade, because that's where modern day Detroit is located. Yeah. Detroit. Fortunately, this area is under free Croatian control. But unfortunately, this needs to be developed, but we can't develop it because it's not in our subject's course, so they're going to be working on it eventually. And then they'll develop it. Unless they develop it themselves. But hey, more centers trade is good. For the Ohio trade node. Which now Croatia is now the dominant trade power for Ohio. It's not going to be for the company, but it's for them. And do not look at this up. But its trade value of Ohio, not much. I mean, we do have a merchant presence in Chesapeake Bay. Yes. But Gulf of St. Lawrence is also just as valuable. So, they adopt Takala culture. You mean Croatian culture? Because that's what that is. So just please, rest. No more expansion. Except maybe, what little is left of that, but you gotta cross over to them. So thank you very much. Not gonna be asking for increased mercantilism. They did cede a territory. They didn't make it revolutionary. Greedy bastards. I forgot about that. Beyond this army, just to drill them. May never know I'll get into a drilling accident and get myself killed for this. Hey, new merchant. Now where do you come from? Obvious is obvious. know, that's a good question. Where did I get this new merchant from? It's from that old Guinea company, isn't it? Mm. But nonetheless, where would I send you? And we had one in, again, Moluccas, St. Lawrence, Alexandria, Ivory Coast, Tunis, we had it. Yeah, I think we had it all before, unless it's something that I did not recall, so... Well, where would I send you then? Because we almost got no room. Well, hold on. Hold on. Hold on. There! Squashed the spider. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. It's just I had my eyes off the prize. Nippon is pretty valuable. If only we were to establish company control over there, but unfortunately, the nation of Japan is a powerful one. They would never sell a province to me of any kind, because too powerful. Korea, an independent nation, willing. Okay. Just look. Territory that they would be most willing to give way. Which, of course, that requires all the money in the world if you want to buy a piece of land off of Korea. But just at a reasonable price. Just lower it. But it depends on which of these areas has a center of trade. Okay, what about here? They'll say no to that. Of course, we don't have the trust because I broke an alliance one time and that kind of hurt the trust of others. The trust! I'll get back to you at the moment. I might consider establishing a trade company, Nippon. Japanese trade company, is that what that would be called? A Croatian Japanese trade company? I mean, you're so attentive with that. But those previous owners have not improved these at all. This is an old marketplace. AST. But good luck trying to dominate the trade over the Japanese because they have no trade ideas. That's not even their tradition even. It's rather strange coming from them. Again, we'll be talking to Korea a little bit later. Oh no, they still trust us utterly. Same for the Mamluks, same for the Karaman, Akonulu, Pasai. But they're well interested somewhat. Okay then. So yeah, I'm actually really considering sending a merchant over there. I mean, we do have contact and we could send him, but we have no trade power over there. And I don't think you'll overtake the Japanese trade power because they got more coastal centers of trade. And Korea is a tributary to the Ming. Which means if you attack them, you're attacking China. And nobody wants to mess with that. So take your business elsewhere. Here's not as valuable, but it's got a coastal center of trade there. Not willing. Not for sale. Don't be too silly about that. Hold on. Need to change the tribute. So. Military power is tribute now. probably send it somewhere where you do have a degree of percentage of trade power. You do have some in the Deccan, but that's not as valuable. Bengal's less than desirable, despite the improvements. Hey. You're threatened. Wish I had Chittagong, but the problem is feeling threatened. Trust and all that. Also other provinces nearby. Obvious is obvious. Pasai, my friend. You'll be willing? Okay. Like what say if I want to pick a... Okay, maybe we are getting somewhere here. But unfortunately, that's going to be way too much money because of the development. That's just never mind then. Khmer is an ally of the Ming, but has its own tributaries, but I don't think they'll be willing to give it away. No, never. The only logical one is Korea. Japan is neutral, but they're never going to give up any of their territory because they're considered too powerful. But going to war against Japan would be... Going to war against the... They're not as strong. Very tempting target. Croatian Japan. That sounds like an idea for the future. It's almost like I want to say, well, I still want that part of the Ivory Coast so we can get another merchant. That's going to come from the Croatian Guinea Company. So we can have full control, and there's your merchant here. Trade value of Constantinople had deteriorated over the years. Isn't as valuable as it used to. Ohio isn't as valuable. Well, there's value on these two because improvements were made. So I guess Deccan. It's going to be my final decision to the Deccan. There's nothing much on Australia in its trade value that something I would want. But definitely nothing over in the Polynesian Triangle. Okay, Deccan it is. Here, you could transfer the trade to Gujarat, which is a valuable trade. Honestly, I think it's better to transfer than to collect. Because you're not going to get much out of this transfer. I totally forgot about this. Now you got all this money, now it's time to get to work on improvements. Okay. For starters, it needs counting houses. We won't make much, but we make more production through money than anything else. This is just for starters. It's already got a plantation, so that's good. Here, this does not have a trade station, so build that. Coffee plantation here, but also improve on that. Here, there's no trade station, but we can develop it a little further. Which is, I don't like to do this, but more necessity than anything else. You're not calling any more provinces anytime soon. Just spend these two. I have a trade station built here. Yeah, why not? Of course, these two. Big money on that. Only because that one's more developed. Same for this one. Once the devastation goes down, things will get better. As long as it increases naval force, then it'll be fine. I think we're good. Quite honestly. So it's been decided then, because after I did some looking up, because sometimes I take breaks during recordings just to, you know, have a little bathroom break or eat a little snack to refresh yourself. Although I typically do not eat after recording until sometime after. But I've noticed that it's like, yes, the centers of trade regarding that's a tributary trading port up there. But it's held by a different nation, which is a tributary state to Ming, so you can't touch them. And we know that the Japanese have a weak army, which I don't know why. I mean, development-wise, I thought they would be pretty good. And is. Why are they not spending much on military? So they have offensive ideas, defensive, and they're currently working on quality ideas. They do have the discipline, but they could add more discipline with them. But you can't underestimate the national manpower they have, as well as their infantry combat ability. It's part of their Japanese ambition. So, despite the small size from the looks of things, I think they could pack quite a punch. And unlike the Japanese of the Delhi Mughals playthrough, they do not have exploration ideas, so they're not a colonial nation. Despite the fact that's one of their traditions down there. Global settlement increase, so why are they not doing it? But their navy cannot be underestimated as compared to the Croatian navy. Even though most of it is just light ships for the purpose of trade, as we're more of a merchant navy than anything else. So it's going to be here, in Yeonju. That area must be bought. It's part of the charter company here. But if you want to do that, you need to start saving up a lot of money, as I've already spent. But for starters, if we want to invade Japan just to control the centers of trade, we buy one here, as we'll leave Hanseong there. So we need to take Chikuzen, So, Zetsu, and Musashi. Don't see any more further up north as part of that. But I would say that, again, there's some valuable there. Some merchants are currently present there. Also, really? That little nation still exists? Ah, tributary. Right, can't buy them off of them. So yes, Japan definite next target, but also the trade goods. Look, there's coal. More coal for Croatia, potentially. It's also got silk. And in that other, Zetsu has Chinaware. And over there in Musashi has fish. But it'll do. But they have a few gold provinces, but there's dyes. But more importantly, coal. There's coal up there. They even have one up there, but it hasn't been found it yet because the development's not there, but it's currently in the works. Okay. Tokachi. That's another area to take for future reference. So remember, for the future Croatian invasion of Japan, Chikozen, So, Zetsu, Musashi, and Tokachi. You know, it's a bit far off, but still, it's a coal mine will be founded there. So it just pretty much tells you that how, you know, in the later era with the whole Empire of Japan thing of how they were relative newcomers and during the industrial age, all that. Whereas in Croatia, there's only Kosovo as a coal there. None can be found in Africa unless you go for the south. We have one there. That one's under the control of Hudramut, which is Spanish vassal. Hudramut. Yes, Hadramut. Yes, you're correct. British colony. A lot more coal to be found there. But over in America, unfortunately, most of that is under control of someone else. Hey. It's cord, right? Develop it further, then you get a coal industry going, adding more value to that area. And think about the tariffs we could get it out of them if coal is to be discovered there. So yes, I suddenly now have a desire for Japan now. But first things first, we gotta improve relations with Korea. To lower the price, so to speak. As I have the skills to do so. See? All thanks to our ruler here, who is a... I don't know he's that old. Hopefully he doesn't drop dead by the time we improve relations with Korea here. As well as the work of our Greek diplomat. And also save the money. Don't spend any more. These two armies here, they're going to be sent to Japan. Be stationed in Korea first. Well, there goes what's left of them. Actually, how is Spain going to get across from there? They can't physically take that territory. Well, meanwhile, everything's going to go to hell over in the Middle East. And in the northwestern half of India. Peter Pond Lake. University of Zagreb. The University of Zagreb has attracted a new strand of teachers and students who are eager to modernize the institution. They are asking for the funding to open a new college where they can develop further what they call new science with a more experimental outlook and what they claim to be less dogmatic approach to the world. Of course, within the existing academy, there's some resistance to these would-be reformers. They argue that money could be better spent supporting the existing institution, as new ideas are not necessarily better ideas. Oh my goodness. I mean, it would be better to increase the innovativeness a bit. But no, let's listen to the conservatives. That'll jump it up. Definitely help it. Again, yes, our damaged prestige and reputation in the world, lowering the trust because we didn't help out, because I'm in no mood of fighting against the Timurids. Because I wouldn't fight the Timurids unless I have the Mamluks on my side. But now we can't do that now, can we? Vijayanagar started a separate war. Crusade. Of course, Hindus. Which I'm sure one day they'll get too big and then they're going to start looking at the Timurids negatively. A true master president, Daravas Vasarede, has turned our army to clockwork automatons that don't flinch on the battlefield. His reputation will reach further than our borders. Thank you very much. Make us look good in the eyes of the world. Make us proud. No. Because you already bordered through that area anyhow. And due to high prestige, we can improve relations even more. We're just trying to make Korea feel friendly toward us. We're not trying to ally with them. I just want to buy their piece of land. So we will station the Croatian armies that are currently stationed in Goa and to be sent over into that part of Korea. And then we'll use that as a pretext for the invasion of Japan. Not to take all of Japan, but the areas that would deem valuable to us. We got 2 years. Till that overextension goes away, I will make damn sure that we'll abolish slavery for good. So we can reduce the tech. So we can get these easier. So don't do anything stupid. And save the money. Stepan Vracic, that's our ruler. Yes, sir. Has taken an under set of measures to reform the military system of our country. The tactical innovations include shallower and broader formations to maximize firepower, cross-training between army branches, light and highly mobile field artillery. The new tactical doctrine is based on firepower and mobility, eschewing heavy artillery and slow-moving tercios. Invest in higher quality troops. Yeah, we're almost done here. Why are you gonna look at us more friendly? Because we think so. We view you as friendly. Only just to buy it off of you. Maybe perhaps I will send you a gift. Which is just bribing, basically. How much to 25? Okay, okay. 150. Fair price. In 3 months we get all that money back again. So there you go. Just did what we can, right? If they were more friendly, we would definitely accomplish that task. Dealt with the natives again. So yes, Mawa has lost the war. I did not see the peace negotiators part other than Fars is the one that expands a bunch of territory. Timurids probably got some, but not all. We're still a strong nation within the inside, I think. Nope, Central Doab was part of Mawa, so they actually gave some of them to Jaunpur. That happens sometimes. Okay. Now, are you gonna sell me that province of Yeongju? Despite the improved relations and diplomatic reputation and all that. I know the trust isn't there, but give me a moment. It will take this huge amount of money. It's almost like, well, you better hope this is the best damn investment you'll ever make in the history of the Croatian Empire. And you're using that as a pretext to eventually invade Japan for more valuables. Try to be friendly with you. Is there anything else to make you feel more positively? I know we can't do royal marriages because too far away. And Catholic faith of ours does not allow royal marriages with them. And plus, are you forgetting? We're a republic. A parliamentary republic. Have you forgotten? The issue is the distance, that's why. Not to mention the trust factor. Okay then. Get it then. This is going to be the biggest amount of money you've ever spent. It better be the best investment you've ever made. Thank you for your business. And have fun with that large amount of money. And I'm sure those Korean separatists aren't going to be happy. Unfortunately, you had a fort there previously, so... Now that we've established ourselves and created this new company, well, build a stock exchange. Alright, boys. From the boys from Croatian India. Get on board. You're going to Korea. Although you also might need a third army, because who knows how much money Japan would buy to get mercenaries. They don't have the manpower. And I don't know what they've done with it. Actually, you should do a bit of island hopping first. What I mean is, make a quick stop in Brunei, wait till they recover, and then go up again to Korea. In the blackness that engulfed the night, fire-lit streams copiously gushed down the hill like an open wound, their harsh redness impossible to ignore. The glowing avalanche of volcanic ash followed them like an impatient hunter, its open mouth eager to devour everything in its path until its hunger is finally satiated. Nature has punished us. And Kalapa. Oh dear. My goodness. Oh. My goodness. This place has been devastated due to volcanic eruptions, which is common in Indonesia. And new Far East mercenary companies. Now Croatia has 4% control, for starters. What is this company called? It is called the Croatian Nippon Company. The Croatian Japanese company, basically. This has a natural harbor. You could spend it a bit to add more local trade power. There you go. Let them rest a bit. Alright. And this is about to be done too over there. Bastards. That's why they did it again. Discontent just expired. Alright, to Korea. Croatian Korea. Using that as a base to invade Japan. And soon we may have to get another third army to volunteer for this, because this is a pretty big country. Okay. Because it's Highlands, and you may never know, you'll get lucky with gold again. If not, then gems. And slaves, soon to be abolished with the slavery portion. So, we'll send a colonist to Gogo, and another colonist to Hihi. If that's even correct pronunciations over there. Okay, we established ourselves here. There's a lot of tempting targets, but it all depends on the development of each and every one of them. Especially ones centers of trade, but the ones that have the most development, well, that's going to cost you a lot more administrative power for that. So you better start saving up. So now Japan feels threatened. No longer able to send tribute. Instead, they sent us money. Too bad. They did what they could. And if you want, you can upgrade this to a world port. Which I think I would much rather do that for certain areas. They're back to normal. So I'd rather have it for the silk, because, you know, to be honest, despite the presence of, we have a Croatian India, silk, we don't get much out of that. But Japanese silk, that's actually a rare commodity. Well, do not forget the coal. I believe they already have a furnace, do they? No, they do not. Okay, you are a definite next target. Plus the core construction's about to be finished. Yes, sir. Hey, the one that's stationed over in Athens. You have to return. No, you idiot. Get in there. I'm just looking for volunteers, that's all. You're gonna have to make a first stop in Calicut, and then drop you off at Brunei, and then sail all the way up to Korea, then we're ready. There's enough room for all of us. And the Croatian Navy that's still stationed over there, you gotta move to up here. So it looks like it'll be 1788 or 89 or even 90 is when we'll invade Japan. That's when we'll be good and ready. As long as our allies don't do something stupid that'll get themselves killed. But again, that's for over there. And finally, we'll pass an act to prohibit slavery and outlaw slave trade throughout the nation. We do own a couple of provinces that has slaves, such as these. A few of these. No, we don't own that, but of course that as well. And who could forget up in Azov. So this will make Croatia increasingly innovative for the next 10 years, and the Abolition of the Slavery Act till the end of the game, which will lower our national tax modifier, but reduces stability cost. Every province owned by Croatia will stop producing slaves and it will be replaced with something else. So here's what happens, for example. It could become livestock, or grain, or fish, or wool. I forgot we also have tin. There's another province that has coal. Now, over down in Africa, it could likely be livestock, or fish, or anything else. Same for these two. It could likely be tropical wood, or fish, or for lucky, cloth here. Valuable. And down in that direction, likely tropical wood, or fish, or ivory, or even naval supplies. You'll find no slavery in India. They don't do that over there. Neither is there. Or even, heaven forbid, areas like over there. Not even Hawaii does that kind of thing. But you get the idea. We've abolished it and we'll see the notifications pop up of what the new trade goods might be. Oh, and there was one here too, which will likely be livestock. So let's see it. It should be come up in a month or so. Okay, what do we got here? Azov's got wool. Kayor's got ivory. Well, it's got livestock. Lamba's got fish. Selena's got ivory. It's got Orglov got wool. Antimoro's got tropical wood. Soil's got paper. Really, paper. That's valuable. All these damned buildings we've built. That's for lowering state maintenance. So let's look at here again. I almost said look at here. So these two got ivory. What luck. Because there's a good price in ivory, which I'll be willing to build trade stations for because this is part of the company control. Whoa, whoa, whoa there. Why is this not part of the company anymore? Oh, hang on. Are you telling me that, the Guinea. Yes, all of them, get them back to company control. Assign all the provinces that we have back to the company. Now, anyways, don't tell me how to make investments again. Get rid of that. Replace it with a university. So we could develop this a little more. So we could get another slot and get more ivory. Isn't there something that's more effective with salt? Pressman offices. That one. Okay. All the gold areas. Again, slaves is no longer an option, so that increases the percentage of something else. Azov's got wool. Oh, we could develop that a bit. There you go. Could have sworn I thought there was a building that would be good for it, but no, it'll be textile manufacturing. Keep in mind, Crimea is not valuable, but at least help it with something. This also has wool down here. trade value 16 versus 12 from there. Yeah, it looks like you're gonna have to make company investments again for all these areas. Wait a minute. Look again. Yeah, you already had the trade power up. Or perhaps I never did enough of that. Because all this is just tax modifier. Production efficiency and all that. So which they basically... Speaking of investments, we'll end this episode soon. Ready to go? Make a stop in the night and you'll be in Korea. That bait in the subway. What can we do? It would be nice to get another merchant and a trade power rod. I mean, do we need more trade efficiency? That's what mercantilism is for. So, charter trade company. 6 out of 21. I'll take a bit of corruption hit. Same for Republic of Tradition. See anything similar? Go for that. Placate the burgers. Same for Cossacks. Anything that has to do with them is just fine. And the bribing, well, that can wait. We'll pass this act some other time. Issue. You said act. As if you're some kind of politician. Yes, sir. You got it all. I could have sworn I thought I added more provinces to those areas. I guess you could do that now, since we got rid of slavery. Now we replace it with more valuable trade goods. Good. Now that you have the trade power brought again. I used to have a merchant in the Deccan. And this has some valuable to it, and it can be improved upon. Do collect the trade from there. We're not going to get much, but it'll change in the future. Education for the poor. A religious local philanthropist has begun to create schools for poor children in East Timor. The ambition is to bring literacy to the poor and educate them in the way of the Catholic faith. Of course, there are those who would argue this is not an activity without the risks. Excellent initiative. So you've added some tensions over in East Timor for that. Ready? Korea with you. So we'll begin the invasion of Japan. Likely will happen in the next episode as long as something that is not foreseen happens. Company depot here. More local trade power. Alright, since this was a well-developed territory, guess you can add a little bit of that. At least you've calmed down over there. A Trust me, I tell you, don't get on my bad side or I'll increase the level of mercantilism and you won't like it. Because mercantilism is the country's lifeline. All president accounted for. Cabinet cooperation. Our humanist policies have reduced the jealousy between our advisors. Since they can no longer play on the religious and ethnic divisions of the country, everyone's working in the state to have faith in, and there is trust in the cabinet. Sharing is caring. Much better. Okay, wait next month and we'll see how much money we can get out of Nippon after a little bit of improvement. Unless we make better company investments, like say, let me see. Again, we'll most likely do this here when we expand the Nippon Charter for its entirety, to add more trade value modifier to make more money out of it, because they have some provinces that I want. Not much. In fact, that's the lowest. No, that's Tunis still. Why am I still collecting money from Tunis? Should move it to the Deccan. But need not to worry. We have plans for them to take the Senator's trade, including there, and that's ultimate target. So that'll be it for this episode, as we plan on the invasion of Japan to take a few coastal provinces for the company, as they do not have much of manpower, but they do have plenty of ships, which, you know, our naval bellies will take them out. But keep in mind, most of those ships are probably galleys, because it's mainly inland seas. So maybe we should perhaps consider taking the should go take these other ships with them for added support. So we hope you people enjoyed this episode, which we made some moves and all that, while we continue the expansion of Africa. Vijayanagar remains a terror, and the Commonwealth remains calm. And France and Spain are not, you know, are not at each other's throats as far as we're concerned. Whereas started to run out of the room, very much so, in America. And if I truly care, one day I will help them develop it, if they're willing to core that province, because right now it doesn't look like it. They're not doing that right now. Whatever they're doing, well, you know. But anyways, so it's likely, again, next episode, Croatian invasion of Japan for money and other amenities that would be most valuable to us. And who could forget the coal that is present there, but they have not built a furnace there. And same from up there, because they developed this province, but not enough, so they got to get rid of the fish, bring in the coal and build another furnace, adding even more value to the Nippon trade node. Because as far as our knowledge is concerned, Nippon is not as valuable as Gujarat, but again, improvements will be made in behest of the Croatian Nippon Company. So I hope you people will join us in the next episode. But until then, so long for now.